Welcome back to the Marine Corps Movie Minute, where we're discussing the movies of the Marine Corps 1 minute at a time. It is Friday. We've reached minute 90 of Heartbreak Ridge, and I am Brian.
I'm Brian's co-host Perry. Wait, no, he's sick. I'm Doug. I'm Doug, the stand-in for Perry.
You sound like Perry when Perry lived in Jersey for those few years, but
Hey, yo.
exactly. He was a Jersey guy for a while.
Nice. We're forever linked.
Yeah, exactly. I've gone up there a few times thanks to Perry. So
And you made it out alive. Good.
I made it out alive. You made it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now that speaking of this is totally off subject, but Perry and I one day we were getting together with a friend of ours. I'm in North Carolina. He was in North Carolina at the time. We lived together down here, not together, a couple towns apart, but we got together to go visit a buddy of ours that lived in the western region of Virginia, not West Virginia, but on the western side of Virginia in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Perry just follows his GPS, and instead of taking the long way around, which was the safe way, and it was the same distance, but it was a longer, or the same amount of time, but it was a longer distance. We ended up going directly through all these mountains. It literally took us down mountain roads, 1-lane roads with dirt that literally had signs on the side of the road that said, "Don't trust your GPS; it lies to you."
Oh man.
Yeah, so we're going down here. Perry goes, "Hey man, if we get a flat tire or get stuck here, don't say a word. I'll do all the talking. They're gonna kill your Yankee ass." Because he at least had a fighting chance with his southern accent. So. He says some of these people are little.
They think the war is still going on.
That's basically what he said. Yes. So we're like, I'm like, well, let's just hope nothing happens and let's keep on going.
Oh man.
We survived.
Moral of the story.
Exactly. We went the long way home on the way home. We didn't make that mistake twice.
No shortcuts. That's how every horror movie starts. Don't you get it?
Oh, exactly. It was like Wrong Turn all over again. So
tell you, they make horror movies based on these stories.
And I've seen them, and I. Well, speaking of horror movies, Stitch Jones does some singing this week. So this minute begins with a track list of the Recon records, and it ends with Stitch Jones telling us something else about Highway. Well, anyways, Doug, welcome back.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me to round out the week here. What kind of songs do we have on Recon Records here?
First up, we have Highway, One Sick Individual. We have Polish My Weapon, I'll Polish Yours. And apparently that's Lance Corporal Forgetty's favorite. And Bionic Marine.
Yeah. Are all of these songs the same kind of style, you think, or what?
I have to imagine, because they did what? They did Recon Rap earlier in the movie, where they all kind of sang together like they were a member of the Jets and Sharks.
Yeah. Yeah. These are like, they're all like freestyle sort of ditties, right? It's like, I mean, these are things that that Stitch is making up, right?
They seem to be like he's making them up on the fly.
But other guys are jumping in with lines, and like they're rhyming up with each other and everything. Like it just works. In the last one, the what kind of rap was it?
Recon Rap.
The Recon Rap. They were singing like freestyle lines like together, weren't they?
Perry and I discussed this. We had some questions about this. That was far too coordinated for them to just jump in and know on the fly.
Right.
Is this what they do on their downtime? And clearly it is, because look, they're about to go on to 72 and they're doing it again. They're sitting there singing.
Yeah, and usually, the star of the show doesn't want the riffraff chiming in. He lets them like just chime in with their own lines, their own verses.
Yeah, especially with Recon Rap. Like when they were doing that, they had dance moves. It's almost like they had it down. Like they were like snapping their fingers. They were kind of moving to it. They all jumped in and started doing that at the same time, except for Profile. Profile was out of sync with the snapping. But they had to have practiced that. There's no way.
All right, now look, even for the 80s, this is a cheesy bit. Am I wrong? Am I out of line to say that?
No, you're not out of line, and you're correct. It is cheesy. Do I hate it? No, I don't hate it.
You don't hate it.
I'll tell you what, Recon Rap I had a lot of fun talking about that. It's a bit. I was like, what is going on with this? Bionic Marine, I actually got a kick out of. I kind
Yeah.
of like.
Well, it's got a bluesy kinda Elvis flavor to it.
Definitely, and I think that's why I like it because I can sing along to it because I can do my fake Elvis, you know.
There you go.
Again, I keep bringing up Pete Koch, but we kinda asked him about that because he comes in at the end and says a little line too,
Mhm.
and he goes, "Isn't that ju" he goes, "Wasn't that goofy?" Like, he just kinda laughed, like, he's like even he realizes how ridiculous that scene is. He's like, "Yeah."
As goofy as this and recon rap is, I will listen to this in my headphones on repeat rather than watching Love Story between Clint
Right,
Eastwood and his
right.
ex-wife.
Exactly. Well, what's funny though is they're like in their tighty whities all singing too. So
Yeah.
like that's a whole like there's a lot going on here. But based on the fact that they sang together and they had this like kind of doo-wop song. It was they said rap, but it was like a doo-wop song last time. This, like you said, this is like an Elvis like bluesy song. And they're singing, they're all getting involved. They're even Forgetty, he's like harmonizing. He's like ba 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 ba
Yeah,
like
yeah, he's doing a little
like he's all I mean, they're into it, man. Now, what I would like to see, the scene they didn't film was Gunny Highway coming in while they're in the middle of singing, going with his like shit-eating, like squinty eyes, going, "What the fuck are you doing?" And like, I would love to just see him like, "This is what you guys are. I'm like trying to make you guys life takers and heartbreakers, and you're singing Elvis songs in your tidy
jamming
whities."
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Harmonizing like you're a
a guitar in
barbershop
the
quartet.
shower.
Yeah, and a leopard print one, no less. I caught
What if
that this time.
what if he came in all tough, and, like, they stopped the music and they, like, turned around all shocked, and then he chimed in with a
Oh,
a couple a couple of bars?
yeah, right. There you go. He said,
So
I'll really lay it down for you." He's singing top hat. Well, I was joking. I'm like, he's gonna come in and he's like, "Hey guys, maybe you can play a song for me. Do you know this one? Hey, while you guys are singing, I'm over here getting stabbed in the head by a communist." Yeah, I can only imagine. There's a meme that I've seen repeatedly, and every time it pops up, it makes me laugh. And it's a picture of Tommy Lee Jones looking exactly like Tommy Lee Jones. And it
Mhm.
says, Tommy Lee Jones always looked like his son just told him he was going to ride unicycles professionally. I imagine that's how Clint Eastwood would look at them if he walked in
Yeah.
right this minute and saw them singing in Bionic Marine.
There's no subtitles, so I was trying to get all the lyrics, but it wasn't clear enough to me.
I'm glad you asked because
Oh,
I happen to have them right here. I'm not going to sing it.
almost as if it was on cue.
Right, and we did not plan this. See, this is why he's a great, see, he's a professional, everybody. He does the Rocky Minute. He's coming in here. He's filling in for Perry, doing a fine job.
This is not my first rodeo.
Right, exactly. It is ours, and we're so. Let's see here.
And you're not gonna sing it, is that what I'm to understand?
That's yeah. I'm not going to sing it, but maybe I'll insert the audio of the song at the end of the at the end of this episode.
By season 2, you'll be singing shit.
Oh shit. Well, I'm waiting for you to sing all when you get to Rocky 4, I want you to sing all the montages as Rocky.
Oh, man. I think I've already proved that I do an awful Rocky impression.
Awful or brilliant?
I don't know, ask my co-host Jay. He
Yeah.
hates it.
I think that's why I like it. His misery is
Is
music to
joy.
my ears. It's
Yeah.
nothing personal against him. It just makes me so happy listening to, the show and that coming through.
Well,
I'm a sick individual.
just listening to him unravel, I do the
Yeah,
same shit. That's why I keep those bits going for as long as I do, because I know he hates them.
you gotta do it. Okay, so he says, "That's it, Bionic Marine. Yes, do that one." So it's almost like they thought they knew what it is, but they made it up on the fly. So here's the lyrics. "We kicked a lot of ass at a place called Heartbreak Ridge. Don't fuck with Scarface Highway, baddest jarhead there is. He's a bad psycho mother, Bionic Marine, a leather neck lifer who likes the barracks clean. He kicked Powers in the ass, whipped him upside the head. If you fuck with this sick mother, then you're going to end up dead. He's a fire pissing jarhead, Bionic Marine. Ba-ba, ba-ba. Salty dog doesn't wear anything but Marine Corps green. No time to shit or shower. No time to smoke a cig. Don't fuck with Gunny Highway or you'll end up
End up
in the
in the
brig.
brig.
And of course, big old Swede shows up and puts the little capper on that.
Like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, and he's like, "Yep, yep." Do you have any memories about? Because there's a couple funny little bits post fight where you guys sing "Bionic Marine" about. I mean, it's my understanding that Mario Van Peebles came up with the lyrics for that, and it's kind of
Yeah.
funny watching everybody do this kind of like barbershop quartet version of a song sung about Clint Eastwood's character, and of course you got a little you put the exclamation point on the song, and it's pretty funny. Do you have any memories of like that scene in particular, or how that kind of went down?
I just know that that was, impromptu, and you're right. Mario says one day, he says, "Man, I wrote this song. I think, I talked to Clint about it. I think we're gonna film it, man. Maybe to make the movie, you know?" And I was like, Mario is just such an impressive character because he was just very thoughtful, very engaged. I mean, I learned so much because I was so new to the business, and he, even though I don't know, he's maybe 4 years older than me or something, he's was infinitely more experienced, and he's just a truly creative person. And I remember just coming away every day thinking, and he wasn't the only one. I mean, there really were some really creative young actors. Half of those guys were from like Mario. I think I don't know where Mario was living at the time, but he's a New York guy. And those guys that do theater, I think they definitely come out with a different sort of wiring in their heads and ability to really get creative. Total admiration for that. So I was just soaking all that in, and there's also the confidence that goes with it. Like, hey, Clint, I wrote a song.
Yeah,
Imagine that. Like,
put
all
it
right,
in your movie.
right, just like that. So, but it worked, and I mean, yes, I had forgotten about that.
Pretty catchy tune, pretty accurate description of Tom Highway.
I'll say. Yeah.
And you know what? It's funny because I've listened to this many times, and I actually do like the "We kicked a lot of ass," and they're like they snap or clap or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's pretty
Bah,
cool.
bah. Yeah.
I didn't catch even words like that they called him Scarface Highway.
Yeah, I didn't either.
It was pointed out. Well, Perry pointed this out to me that like he's like Clint Eastwood doesn't have those scars, on his neck, but it was very obvious early on in the jail scene that something wasn't right about him.
Yeah.
It was just meant to show that he's got the battle scars and for all the wars he.
Going back to way back to the beginning, he does like all the stereotypical Marine things when that guy like starts to, well, the stories he's telling to the one guy and the guy starts fucking with him.
Yeah.
He does the typical Marine, like, I eat fucking nails for breakfast and or whatever the hell
Yeah.
he says.
Yeah.
And when I'm watching, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be this kind of movie. Like that's like a big, hoorah Marine type, like stereotypical Marine stuff. But
Yeah.
obviously you meet these guys and you're like, oh, maybe it's not.
Right, right. These are I mean, I would joke, these are the bad news bears. They're
Yeah.
you know,
That's a great description of them.
well, we've talked, throughout this podcast where it's like the way that this movie goes, it's very typical of an 80s underdog tale, like, and we wouldn't even be surprised if instead of a war scene at the end, they had like a football match or,
Yeah.
and in a way they kind of do because they have the fight in the bear pit with
Mhm.
the rich kids that are, want to destroy their summer
Yeah.
camp. That's basically what they do. But then after that, that's when it's like, all right, really, it's kind of like after this, they're Marines now. They've gotten on board with Highway's program. They respect them. Clearly, they're singing songs about them. I mean, I've never respected anybody that much that I sing a song about them and get my friends to do it too.
Yeah. No, usually that's a level of respect you don't normally see. But I mean, the first time they had like a little powwow about Highway, it was like what a crazy asshole he was, and
Yeah,
we're not going to toe the line for this scumbag, and now they're singing him praises.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, they've changed their tune 100% on him.
It doesn't become even that apparent because they could still be like he's the most badass Marine that ever lived, still like in maybe a negative way, but when Webster is that the name?
Yeah, Webster, Staff Sergeant Webster,
Yeah,
Moses Gunn.
yeah. So he's about to come in, right?
Yes.
At the end of this scene, and that's when you really know. Okay, these guys are all in on the highway.
Yeah, because the telling line, "Don't you wanna go back to the way it was? Nobody fucking with you." And
Hmm.
he says, "Well, the way we see it, ain't nobody fucking with us right now."
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's a different level of fucking with you. Yeah, like, they know that Gunny is their protection from the shit that Major High oh, jeez, I said it again. I keep saying Major Highway. I even named the episode Major Highway because I kept saying it. Major Powers.
You even double down on it too.
Yeah,
You
I know,
start to you start to correct yourself, and then you're
okay.
like, no, no, I'm right. I'm definitely
Yeah.
right. Major highway.
Hey, like, that's the I've learned that if I just say it louder and more often, it means I'm right.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, Garden State Parkway in New Jersey is a major highway.
Yeah, exactly. It
So
just depends on what I'm talking about.
yeah, it's all about the context, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, just I changed subjects. Nobody knew it. Try to keep up, everybody. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but to my point, he's basically Clint Eastwood or Gunny Highway is protecting them from the bullshit they were putting up with before. And we were saying like movie logic wise, the way they were being treated as the redheaded stepchildren of the Marine Corps, basically, who wouldn't be disillusioned and be like, "Fuck this," fuck the
Hmm.
suck, basically. The green weenie's going to get you. Major Powers was the green weenie, so it's now they have pride basically.
Well, those are the kind of guys that you would go to bat for. A guy who's like he's straight as an arrow. When it comes to the job at hand, but he doesn't like follow the rule book so tight. Like when Swede punches him, he could have had him fucking court-martialed. He's not that guy. He doesn't follow the book to the letter, but he does like he means business. So if you do it the way that he wants you to do it, you're gonna have no problem.
A prime example of that too, I think, kind of what you're saying is when Stitch Jones shows up to the rifle range and he's got his piss pot on
Mhm,
and not his Kevlar helmet, and he asks him, "Hey, that wouldn't have made its way out to the local pawn shop, would it?" Well, no, Gunny, that we're financially responsible for that. Yeah, that's right, you are.
mhm.
So, I'll give you a typical day. Now, infantry is different, and I wasn't infantry, so I can't say. But a typical Marine Corps day, if everything goes as planned, you're off at 5 o'clock. He gives
Right.
them till 7 o'clock to produce that Kevlar helmet, which means he's got 2 hours to run out into town and buy that damn thing back,
Right, yeah.
or get anyone and show him that he has it. I mean, so Gunny is giving him plenty of leeway, but he means business. I better see it by 7 o'clock.
Mhm.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, he's do it his way, but I'm not gonna like, I know right now I could bust you on this. I'm giving you an opportunity to make it right. That's a good leader, I think.
And it's also the kind of guy. See, I'm in my police department. I'm a sergeant, so I'm in charge of a crew of patrolmen, and I always promised myself that when I made rank that I would supervise this way, and I let my guys know too that I wouldn't tell you to do something that I'm not willing to do myself.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a huge mark of a leader too, because how many guys they're just like do this because I say so. Like I
Right.
tell my guys to do shit that I've spent my whole career on the streets doing. So it's not like I'm, sitting behind a desk just pointing my finger saying go do this and go do that. Like there's a difference between like a boss and a leader. There's like a graphic I saw. I'm sure you've seen it too. It's pretty popular where like there's uh a crew of guys holding the big stone tablet, and on top of the tablet is like a guy in a chair pointing forward, and like
Yeah.
this is a boss. And then there's another one underneath that's like, a group of guys pulling the stone tablet, and there's the boss at the head of the pack pulling with the guys, and they say that guy's the leader.
Right. Right.
So there's a huge difference between the two.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I would say, case in point, being in the service, we had officers that would say, "All right, we're done with this exercise. Load up all the equipment onto the 5 tons," and they would sit on their ass and watch us
Hmm.
do it. Meanwhile, there was a couple, especially the ones that were prior enlisted, who then got commissions. They would be out there lifting them up just the same as everybody else. It was like,
Yeah,
we got a job to do. Let's get it done. Doesn't matter that you have a little bit of rank. Get it done.
that's those guys command respect.
Yeah, and we appreciated that and liked them, and we've had, I would say, like, these boot lieutenants that some of them come in and be like, "Hey, I'm in charge now, and I'm going to show you what it's like to be in charge." And then You got other guys that come in, they're like, yes, I'm in charge. Show me the respect. I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to do things with you instead of to you, that type of
Yeah,
thing. And
yeah,
guess which ones we respected more,
yeah. Right, exactly. Even though, like, Highway comes off at first like, he's going to be an unconscionable prick, but little by little, he displays that he's not just a hard ass Marine gunnery sergeant. He's a soldier's supervisor.
Yeah, he is a hard ass prick with a heart of gold.
Hmm.
Yeah. And of course we joke. Oh, I've joked that he's like a Marines Marine. Like he is the epitome of the Marine Corps.
Hmm.
Like I wouldn't think your average Marine is necessarily as gung ho as him. I think a lot of them are kind of closer to Chuzu. Chuzu knows what to say, knows what to do. He knows his job. I wouldn't fuck with Chuzu. I think
Hmm.
he would. I think he could hold his own. He's a hard ass, but he also isn't going to punch out his supervisor, and he knows the
Right.
right things to say. So, yeah, and of course he seems to have more of a stable life because he was talking about his wife, and meanwhile Gunny's drinking every night, pissing on cop cars. He's
Yeah.
punching superior officers, getting in bar fights. You know, so I mean he's like a. I mean we figured it out. Even if you go off of Clint Eastwood's real life age, Gunny Highway is playing about a 53, 56 year. I think he was like
Mhm.
56 when he filmed it, and I think he's playing about 50, and that's a little bit too old to be in the military.
Yeah, they have a 20-year and out uh,
Yeah,
career, right?
yeah, that 20 is earliest you can retire. There are some that can go 30. I think it's fairly rare now. I mean, but there is a 30 limit. But we were kind of given some passes on, they were trying to come up with movie explanations of why Clint Eastwood is as old as he is, not because the actor is old, but why Gunny Highway is. And
Hmm.
it's in this movie, Heartbreak, when he was in the Battle of Heartbreak Ridge, him and Chuzu were in the army. That was an army engagement. It had nothing to do with the Marine. And they say so in the movie, basically. And at some point they joined the Marine Corps. So there's also we kind of speculated, okay, maybe he got out and then went back into a new service.
Oh.
So that could explain some of it. We also explained the fact that we're going to find out next minute for sure, but he is a Congressional Medal of Honor winner.
Hmm.
Probably not gonna force him out if he wants to stay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, even though they said he's reaching mandatory retirement and he will have to get out, they're gonna let him stay probably a little bit longer. There's a little leeway there, I bet.
Yeah, I'm sure that, it brings some value, or a Congressional Medal of Honor winner can bring some value to the squad.
Yeah, yeah,
I would
exactly.
think so.
I would think so. But again, it's as we already discussed, it is a little unrealistic that they would treat him like shit.
Speaking of that, at the end of this, that's what he Stitch starts saying, right? That Highway won the Congressional Medal of Honor at Heartbreak Ridge.
Yeah.
But is that something you really win? The Medal of Honor.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, you don't win it, you earn it.
Yeah, yeah, yes.
And I actually had in my notes, I was going to ask you and Perry, like, because you don't win the CMH, you earn it. What kind of award do you think Gunny actually won?
Ooh, oh, man. Military wise or just in life?
Make it anything.
I don't know. The badass Marine. Hold on. Is there a badass Marine award?
Sure, why not? Yeah. Husband of the Year award, you think you got that? Or ex-husband of the year award?
Like, oh, yeah.
I'm sure he won some sort of drinking contest.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, he's not. He doesn't have like the girth to really do like a chicken wing eating sort
No.
of context.
No,
contest.
probably not. No. Let's see. Maybe a crayon eating contest. I could see him doing that.
He would win some corny boot camp or like longest march with
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
his with his rucksack.
right, right, right. Or there was some guy in real life, man. I wish I knew his name. And he set the record for longest. He was a Marine. Plank, the longest plank, and it
Mm.
was like it was like 4 hours long or some ridiculous number like that. And only an insane. I mean, it's a very impressive, but you got to be insane to do that.
You want to talk about insane? Did you ever hear of a Navy SEAL called David Goggins?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I just heard you guys talking about a couple SEALs doing some crazy stuff on another podcast recently.
Yeah.
Go
Was
check
it
out the Wilder Ride.
yes, I was
Yeah,
gonna say, was it that one?
yes,
Yeah,
it
I
was.
know I brought up Goggins during that one, but like I read his book, and this motherfucker has the record for pull-ups in a 24-hour period, and his number is over 4,000 pull-ups in a 24-hour period.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was
that's so next level. It's not even funny. Like,
no, I can't even wrap my head around that kind of the motivation and just balls it takes to do that.
yeah, like I was pretty impressed when I was like in like junior year in high school, and I set my gym class pull up record of like it was like 27, and then the kid it lasted for about 3 seconds, and the next guy did like he did like I think he almost did 100, but it was like it's like wow, took that away from me.
Yeah, no kidding.
I weighed about a buck 25 at the time, so doing that was nothing. I'm like, hey,
Oh,
look
piece of
at that.
cake. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Do these all day. I got 25. So, I mean, I can't even imagine doing, what did you say, 4,000?
4,000. Yeah.
Jesus. I don't think I've done 4,000 in my lifetime, and that was one of our PFT goals. Jeez, that is insane.
He did 4,030 pull-ups in 17 hours.
Jeez, so it was not even 24.
Not even. He had 24 hours to do the record, and he finished it in 17 hours.
Well, geez, what a quitter. He could have kept going. Quitter. Oh man. The views of the Marine Corps Movie Minute are not. Perry would be like, send your emails and beat up Brian.
You don't want Goggins coming knocking at your door.
No, sir. I believe you disparaged. I was just kidding, man.
Hey, way to backtrack there, buddy.
Dude, I was just trying to motivate you.
There you go.
I guess I really don't have much else for this minute. So,
I'm pretty tapped.
well, actually, so then, Doug, if you're good on this minute, do you have any overall last minute thoughts about the movie as a whole? I know we've kind of talked about it throughout these last few days, but if you have any final thoughts on the movie, now's your time.
Well, it's one that I didn't see before, and I probably wouldn't have. It wasn't really in the forefront of my list of movies that I wanted to see. But I'm glad that it came on the show, and that because of coming on the show, I did watch it because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the. I mean, the acting. Yeah, I look. I grew up on '80s action movies, so the acting in those, none of it was Oscar worthy. So. I'm not complaining about any acting choices or anything in this movie or directing choices. I like the movie for what it was. And thanks for bringing me on the show, man. Really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you liked it. I think that's a fairly good consensus of the people who have not watched it that we've kind of either introduced it to or reintroduced it to. They're like, yeah. I mean, I may not have ever watched it, but yeah, it was good. I'm glad I did. It was interesting. To me, this is one of those. It's Memorial Day. TBS is running, a war movie marathon, and like if I'm doing something and I see it, I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna go about my business, but I might stop and watch whatever scene, go back about my business and go, oh, this part, I got to watch this part. That's
Mhm.
that's how I've seen this movie most often, because it's just always been there for me.
Yeah,
It's always been on HBO. It's always been on.
like a nice warm blanket.
Yeah. It's and of course, it's got a special place in my heart because of the way I first saw it and
Mhm.
where obviously the Marine Corps and all that stuff. Yeah, and I just wanted to thank you for not only coming on to guest, but really kind of pulling double duty and being the new Perry.
It's not a problem, man. It's anyway, we can make this happen. I'm glad we did.
Yeah, thanks so much. Well, why don't you tell people one last time where they can find you?
Yeah, Rocky Minute. We break down the Rocky movies 1 minute at a time. We have season 1 and 2 complete and in the books. We are working hard. We're grinding through season 3, but as of this recording and probably as of the airing, we have just about 40 episodes recorded, and some of it is edited and ready to go. Just waiting to get there. We're re-releasing seasons 1 and 2. So anybody that hasn't heard Rocky Minute and you want to, go to Sylvester Stallone Fan Podcast Network or search Sylvester Stallone Fan Podcast Network on any podcasting app and catch up.
Excellent. And, it's on Fridays, I always direct people to the moviesbyminutes.com website and Rocky Minutes there. So go check out Rocky Minute. It's one of my favorites. I have listened to everything released so far and have enjoyed every minute of it. So thanks for that, Doug.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, man. And, just ask that, the listeners of Marine Corps Movie Minute, just if you have any thoughts on any of these minutes that we've discussed, please join us on the Quarterdeck, Marine Corps Movie Minute Quarterdeck page on Facebook. And of course, we do have a Twitter and you can find us. I think it's MCMM_pod, but really a big fan of Instagram. So Marine Corps Movie Minute Pod on Instagram. So, once again, thank everybody for coming, and we hope you return for Monday for minute 91. And on that note, Doug, I'm gonna sign out and go polish my weapon, but you'll need to polish your own.
When he kicked a lot of ass at a place called Heartbreak. The fuck we stop his highway, baddest joy at the year. Alright. Psycho mother, Bionic Marine. Yeah! A leather neck, like he likes the bad, it's clean.
Yeah, he kicked powers in the eyes.
Yeah, webs inside the head. If you fuck with this sick mother, then you gonna end up. Yes, enjoy it.
Bionic Marine.
These girls go for nothing but
Ain't got time to shoot a shower. Ain't got time to smoke a cig.
I said, don't fuck with Gunny Highway or you'll end up in